Greetings and salutations, friends. I apologize for the late start of the broadcast. We are broadcasting live from the Apocalypse Cabin. And as I've told you all before here, sometimes the internet is wonky. So right before showtime, the internet was suddenly gone. I could get a connection, no internet. So we had to reboot everything, reboot the router, the computer, and now it appears that we are good. So I apologize for the late start. So I'm here at the Apocalypse Cabin, and I actually came here this week a little early. I came here on Thursday night because I had some urgent business to deal with in town at a real estate office. And you may know, if you follow me on Twitter, it's at Stephen Cambion, that we made a major announcement earlier today that I'm pleased to share with you. So let me do that now. And this will affect the future of me and, of course, the future of the show. Some of you know that I have a company that does many different things, including produce media, including this show, Truthseekers, is just one of our products that my company produces. And some of you also know that for quite some time, I had a commercial audio and video studio in Philadelphia, in the city. But my wife and I had a dream to move out of the city, and I have done many things in my life, sort of leapfrogging from dream to dream. And in order to make that dream work for my wife and I, we had to sell our home in Philadelphia. But not only did I have to sell my home in Philadelphia, I had to sell the building and the property that the studio was at. So we sold everything and moved to the suburbs. We both knew that we wanted to live, quite honestly, in an affluent area, because the affluent areas outside of the city have the best schools. And I happen to have an autistic child, and those affluent areas also have the best autistic support programs, much, much, much better than anything in the city. So it became our dream to do that. We accomplished that dream. I had a leapfrog. It was my dream to have a studio in the city, and I built it over time and through a lot of work. And to be quite honest, I don't miss the house at all in the city, but I missed the studio. And some of you know that I have joked about trying to record something, even in this big house we have, is mission impossible, because I have two boys and it's very noisy, and it always gets into the microphones. I recorded an entire song once and then realized that there was Mickey Mouse screaming in the drum tracks and all this other stuff. So though I try my best to still do projects at home, it's not an ideal situation. So for quite some time now, I've been looking for a place for two things: to have a headquarters for my studio. I've been working from home for the past several years now, which is good for taking care of my children, but not so good for getting work done. So for quite a long time now, probably since I sold the recording studio and my home in the city, I've been looking for a place to rebuild a company headquarters, rebuild a studio and production facilities, so that I can do more high quality work that I'm able to do, in my garage or some attic office room in my house. So for quite some time now, I've been looking for a place to do that. And recently I looked at it's got to be something like 25 properties. And I was looking everywhere, both in the area around my home and in the area around the cabin here. And I looked at so many properties I can't even tell you, and I wasted a lot of time because many of them were really terrible for the needs that we had. We needed someplace quiet and private, and someplace where we would not annoy the neighbors. So finally, I found the perfect place, and we have signed the papers, and I have the deed in my hand, and I will show you about that. So here's our announcement. Big news. I signed the papers, got the deed. This is the site of my company's new world headquarters and studios we will build here. No neighbors for miles and miles. It is quite a large and beautiful forest. I love it when a plan comes together. And this was a dream of mine for quite some time. And I'm happy to say that I have manifested this dream into reality. Not the whole dream, but a big chunk of the dream is having a place where we can do this. And so, after looking everywhere, I found what I think is the perfect place. I fell in love with this place the moment that I saw it. And it's interesting is that what you see here is called a road here. To some people, that's a road. It is a beautiful forested area with no neighbors for miles and miles around. There's plenty of natural resources, beautiful forest, lots and lots of stones all over the place. So if I want to build, stone foundation, stone basement, stone driveway, stone floors, stone showers, stone sauna, there is plenty of natural materials all over the land. And so I've signed the papers, and my company's world headquarters is going to be based here. And we will begin building as soon as possible, but probably not until early spring. We will have a very large studio here for both audio. There'll be a full audio recording studio with sound isolation booths and vocal booths and a control room, and there will be a full video production studio, including a huge room to do green screen work. In other words, one of those huge rooms where everything is green, the floor, the walls, the ceiling, and we can do full body shots in there or anything that we want to production wise. I still have designs to do and many things to take care of to make this dream a reality, but I've taken the first big step, and we now have a huge plot of land to build the future of my company on. And I want to thank those of you who I've been talking to about this, some of you privately. And I told everybody not to say anything until the papers were signed and the deed was in my hand, especially after we found this specific property. Here we see a shot of the road, which goes 1.5 miles down a winding trail here. These are former logging trails. I've got a great deal of work to do in order to even get a vehicle through here. I've been hiking there. It's 4 miles from my cabin by road, or 2.5 miles through the woods if you want to. But I had a really hard time finding the property through the woods, and probably walked 4 miles walking in circles through the woods with no trails. And there's a lot more to this. So I do have a video of me at the property and talking about our future plans for this site. And I will be releasing that for members and Patreon supporters probably in the next day or two before the end of the month. And then I will post it publicly here on our YouTube channel. So what I can tell you is, if you have a dream, do it. Do it today. Don't wait. Find a way. This has been a long time coming. I can't tell you, I am so happy that we will have a proper headquarters and studio. We'll be able to produce much more high quality work. So there's the big news, friends. And thanks for all the congratulations. It's going to be great. So tonight, I thought that we could talk about something that people ask me about quite often. Quite often, people ask me my opinion on certain subjects. And one of those subjects is always the NASA conspiracies and the space conspiracies. People send me messages constantly saying, Stephen, do you think that NASA's covering up what they really know? Do you think they're really airbrushing pictures of the moon and airbrushing structures out of them and these sorts of things? And to be very, very honest, I have dug into these things, but I have never really made up my mind. But I know that Ron from Cosmic Neighbors, he covers space and he covers NASA besides Stranger Things. So I wanted to bring him here and see what he thinks about all these things. And maybe he can help me to make up my mind so that when people ask me, I'll have a better answer than I haven't decided yet. So we're going to bring him in here. We welcome Ron from Cosmic Neighbors is here.
Hey, what's going on, CB? Hello,
Good to
everybody.
see you. Good
How's
to
it going,
see you.
bud?
I am doing fantastic. I am over the moon. I'm like so excited and pumped up about this new company world headquarters. Like I couldn't think of a better place. It's just a big forest. We just got a forest. We have a forest, Ron.
I'm so happy everything went through for you, man. I was like crossing my fingers for you. I know we spoke prior and everything. I was thrilled,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
I
know.
told Ron that I had to sign the papers this weekend and uh, and told him to keep his fingers crossed because these things can go wrong. Like a seller can back out at the last minute, or some problem can come up. But luckily, the title search went okay. There was no problem with the land. And there had to be some negotiation with the county too, as well, to allow our plan. We wanted to make sure that our plans wouldn't be stopped by some, kangaroo court of Karens at the township or something. So we negotiated everything and we're good to go for all of our plans there.
That's awesome, man. Now you just gotta hope that you don't have to evict any Bigfoots or anything like that. You know,
Ron, I swear to God, there's Bigfoot sightings in the area. There really is. I have a map and everything. There is Bigfoot
really.
sightings in that area. Yeah, well, we're in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, so just look up Bigfoot sightings, Pocono Mountains. You'll see there's Bigfoot sightings all over the Pocono
Well,
Mountains where my cabin and this is.
well, Anthony and I, we're bringing everything when we go by you like that.
Yeah,
So
I hear that you and Anthony are going to come and visit, and I want you to because I want somebody with real cameras to come here because I have terrible cameras and the stuff at night you can't really see it with the camera well. It just looks like blobs of light to me when I record it. But you guys have better gear, right?
yeah, no, definitely. We got night vision cams we picked up, but Anthony also has that psionics, and the psionics, as basic as it is to use it, it's high performance. It's really a great camera, and you'll see. And he has also the FLIR, which is awesome for the forest because I'm sorry. What did I ask you the other day when I said we're coming out? I said, you have bear spray and all that stuff because I'm always worried
And
that like
I told Ron, no, I don't have spray. I got guns. Yeah.
that. I love that answer. That was a good answer.
And bows
So
and arrows and things like that too. So we'll be
yeah,
okay.
no,
We'll be all
I'll
right.
take a shotgun. I'd rather have that. But Anthony has like a nice FLIR. It's a FLIR that attaches to the phone, but it's not like some one of those magnifying things. It's an actual FLIR from the company technology that plugs right into your smartphone and it just utilizes the camera. It's just awesome, the thermal. So
You guys are
and Anthony's here already. When I was talking to Stephen Anthony the other day, where he lives in his area, I told you it's a Bortle 4. So the night skies are going to just be incredible over there. So
Yeah, I talked to him and I told him about what you did and he looked it up too and said, "Oh yeah, we'll be able to see a lot of stuff there." So
yep.
that's I didn't even know about that scale, but what is that's a light pollution scale? So
Yeah. So basically, like New York is a 9. That's the highest on the scale. That's where I live in, a 9. Obviously, the lowest would be like a 1 and everything, but that's like, believe it or not, the lowest one isn't that great for taking pictures and all that all the time. But a 3 to a 4 is like perfect like that. So I mean, a 2 would be awesome too. But anyway, for a 4, and you're probably, because there's parts by you that are also a 3. So that's the kind of stuff that when you look up, you let your eyes adjust and you can see the Milky Way arm, everything like that. So it's pretty sick, you know.
yeah, and I told you because of the high elevation here, we see a lot of strange things in the sky. And sometimes it's the International Space Station satellites. We've seen the Starlink satellites from Elon Musk here. The first time I saw that, I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was something strange, but my neighbor knew right away that that was Elon Musk's satellites. He's like, "Oh yeah, those are the new Starlink. Isn't that cool? It is cool just to see that."
Yeah, that is a pretty. I've seen that even here in New York as I was filming, and that's a sight to see. It's. But if you don't know about it and you're just looking at that and you see that, I don't blame people for thinking that it's like a little fleet of UFOs or something like that, because it's strange. When out of nowhere, when you see a satellite, you see a satellite, maybe on the same image, you'll see another one going this way and one that way, but you see a trail of them going, and they look like they're powering up and all. It's just pretty cool. But a lot of so-called UFO sightings have been posted because of them. So.
Okay, so where did you want to get started tonight?
No, there was this one. It's an old one. I even wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down. Oh yeah, it was. And I think a lot of people are familiar with this one. It was Shuttle Mission 48. It was in September of 91. And this is one that I still, to this day, a lot of things get like debunked as most of the time it's ice particles and things like that. It could be
reflections too.
Yeah, they'll say that. Like there's some. I was like, you'll see. There's a show. It was called NASA. What was it?
The Unexplained Files.
Thank you.
NASA,
yes.
The Unexplained Files. Yeah.
Yes. So something like that. And what happens is they'll show, like they said that there was a bunch of UFOs that formed a circle, and they were like trying to signal us or each other because they were blinking. But that's actually just the ice is spinning, and the camera lens picks up light reflections and everything. So it'll look like it's pulsating. I mean, can it be something else? Absolutely. But more than likely it's ice. But this one thing I'm talking about, and just without showing it, right? I can just say that a lot of people remember this. It was the one, if you remember, back in 91, that was still around when Reagan had Star Wars. And it shows there's whatever it looked like, right? I'm just going to say a craft, all right? Just for whatever, hypothetically, it was a craft. And it's coming, and then all of a sudden from the earth down below or below it, you see a flash. This thing stops and turns and goes the opposite way, and then you see these two shoot past, like if they were missiles or something, energy beams, I don't know. But the ice particles, when they're going, they don't just stop and then just take off the other way. Some people were saying, oh, that was probably because of a thruster and everything. No, if it was, the ice wouldn't just stop for a half a second and then reverse course.
It has to be some sort of intelligent control to make it do a 90-degree turn. I've seen this video. Yeah.
I actually have a clip of it that I grabbed before the show. What I did was I grabbed just the part that it's like they're speaking on it, but I also made the clip where it's muted. So if you don't worry about copyright stuff and everything like that. So I think I could share it with you. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure I have the correct one so I don't share the incorrect one. Let me see something. Yeah.
This guy didn't do his homework. He didn't do his homework.
No,
I should have got some clips, but today was kind of last minute, friends. So we just kind of said.
Yeah, and I was gonna grab some more, but when I did my show at 3 and Anthony was with me, it went long, and I didn't even go food shopping yet. Hold on, let me see. Present video file. We'll do that. And this is a real short clip, but we could just play it over if you want. Cambion, where is he? And that was Mission STS-2. All right, I'm gonna do I'm gonna give you the muted one, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll have a less chance of problems.
Yeah, I don't want that happening to you.
Even though, you know what kind of bothers me about that stuff, Ron? This is the footage is public record. It's like NASA's public feed, but some people still copyright claim you for playing it.
Well, what'll happen is because that show
they put music on it, yeah,
and they're talking, that'll be their copyright. You know what I mean? But even if we comment on what they're saying, they'll still copyright strike you. But and then it goes here. So you see the thing right there, the white thing, it'll be to the left. Right after he's talking. Right? It'll yeah. Then the flash, and then it takes off like that. And then you see the thing shoot past it. And then,
that's bizarre.
Yeah. What I should have did, I should have just looped it and just kept
We'll
doing it
try to
over.
get a still
Yeah.
of it. So yeah, and this object, you see the flash, and then it goes off in the other direction. So either it hits
But
something or it's under intelligent control.
but here's the thing. So now when it's going that way and it stops for the half a second, now when you see the flash, when it takes off, what gets me is the two thing streams that like go behind it straight up. It's like if it's seen something fired and it took off. Because you'll see that, I don't know if you notice it, there's two streams after it goes the other way. You'll after the flash, you'll see two like things shoot straight up behind it.
Well, we can try to play it again.
Yeah.
But it's
see, watch now. See that thing shoot right
something
behind?
goes shoot off behind it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't know what that is, but to this day, they still haven't figured out what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure that I heard somebody say it was ice particles once, but ice particles don't change direction, you know?
That's the thing. I even had that part I clipped with the two guys. The one professor that was saying, or one scientist that was saying, "Oh, it's ice particles," because, and it's true, in space things act strange. They move weird. It's space. But this guy, I forgot his name. He says it also is that the ice, when it's going, the ice just doesn't stop. And if it was a thruster like this other scientist said, that ice wouldn't just stop. It would just go like this and go from a thruster. It's not going to stop. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That just looked like one of those. And who knows if it was a test that it was controlled by us and they were testing the Star Wars thing. I don't know, because that was right around when Reagan had Star Wars, you know?
Hey, we have Wild Ascension just became a Praise the Cash member. So thank you, Wild Ascension, for becoming a member. And I saw some super chats. We'll read them in a little while. I thank all of you. I'm going to do something for you, Ron. You're very close to getting to the magic numbers on YouTube, I saw, right? You need 28 more people.
Yeah, the last I checked, it was there. Yeah, it's weird.
You didn't get a big bump from Trad, and you know.
Well, no, not really. Like, that's why when you were saying it and goofing around like that, and like I didn't say much because I don't know. If here's the thing, it's a strange thing out there. If Strat, like, let's put it this way, Michael has his own channel. It's called Blue Room Media, right? And I love it. He does some awesome. He does this thing on there. And like, I got a notification at like 4 a.m, and I don't know, he must still be in Hawaii, and it's saying that he's premiering a new video on his channel, right? So he did it, and like 14 hours later, he has like 2,500 views on it already. Like that, like boom. No, right? But if he was doing the show on Wednesday, if he was hosting it himself, it would blow like that. But if somebody else, like myself, is hosting, it just doesn't work like that. You know?
So no Michael Strap bump. Okay. Well, then I'm less upset that you got him to do a weekly show with you then.
Yeah, that's
So, friends, I have pinned Ron's YouTube channel in the live chat, and we have many of you here, 80 of you here or more. He only needs 28 of you to go over there and subscribe, and then Ron will then hit the magic numbers and be magically allowed to make some money. And he has worked very hard to build his channel so far. I always like to try to help people when they're getting close. Let's get him over the hump tonight. There's more than enough of you. I'm sure some of them have already subscribed to you, though, Ron.
Oh, yeah. I already see it's at 978 already, like that.
Okay.
That's like incredible.
So we need 22 more of you people to go over there and subscribe. And I have I want to tell you this, but don't get mad at me.
Wait,
I have never subscribed to your channel.
I know you haven't. I know you haven't. You don't even follow me on Twitter,
Do you know why though? Because I get notifications so much from other channels that
you know what?
And honestly, do you know what channels I do subscribe to? How to build cabin channels. I don't subscribe to most UFO channels.
That's a crock of crap.
But I do watch.
Because I'm going to tell you why. I don't
just subscribe now. Don't get pissed off.
I don't put out videos every day, every week, so you won't get spam. But I understand what you're saying because I've done the same thing myself. It's like I go to the channel anyway, and then sometimes I'll just like how many times I'll go on somebody's show and they'll pull it and they'll look embarrassed and go, I've not subscribed to people, not on purpose. I just didn't realize that. I just, but the only thing I would ask anybody is I know there'll be some that'll be like, oh, cool, I like the channel, and they'll subscribe to me. And some will do it as a favor to you and everything. If you decide you want to unsubscribe, just can you wait at least a week or two? Like that. Don't just do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're at 991 right now.
No way.
Yeah, we're gonna get you there tonight. We need 9 more of you 992. We need 8 more of you kind and generous people. For those that are unaware, that first 1,000 subscribers is like the hardest part of a YouTube channel. To that 1,000 is so I grind it for like a year and a half to do it.
Yeah, go to the private chat, Steve. That's the actual live subscriber count thing. That'll show you. I just broke the sole of my sneaker. Oh.
Let me see if we can put
I got excited and broke the sole of my sneaker. You believe this?
No, that's not accurate. The YouTube is showing a lot more than that. This is only showing 972. On Social Blade takes a while.
Oh no, it's going to update. It's going to update in a second.
96, so you need 4 more people to go over there and subscribe, and you will hit the magic numbers.
Yeah, and this is pretty awesome, man.
So Ron sold his soul to me to get to the magic numbers tonight. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but yeah, No, I remember how tough.
I hit it, baby.
Oh, look at that! Did you hit it already?
These guys are just too much, man.
Great, thank you all for helping.
This is what the 6th time now you've done this to somebody.
I think you're number 6 that I've helped get over the hump. And that's my way of paying it forward. A very few people helped me when I started and tried to get to the magic numbers. Not many people helped me. A few did, though. And I always said to them, thank you so much. If I have an opportunity to help people like you helped me in the future, I'm going to do it. And so far, Ron is the 6th channel that we've brought here when they were close. And congratulations, you're going to get the cash. And now Ron can make some cash because Michael Stratt is expensive, friends.
No, actually, yeah, right. No, actually, well, first, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And with the cash thing, like on my show earlier, I just plugged in a webcam and showed everybody. And I could do that for you too if you want. You know how I'm working on the diorama for the Roswell.
Yeah. Ron's plastic toys cost a lot of money, so now he'll have a source of income to buy more toys with, and that's a good thing.
Well, at least alleviate some of it, yeah, because these damn things, like I just realized before, when they were asking me about one of the models I was showing them, like that's over $300 worth of stuff just on that one part of the Roswell diorama. And I'm like, I didn't realize it till looking at it, and it adds up, So
you can tell that Ron's not married. Like, honey, I want to build a Roswell model, and I need $300. You're not married, are you?
No, I'm not. My. Well, I guess we were just going to get engaged many years ago, and because I'm an IT guy like you, and she said that I was in love with computers more than her, and take a ring and shove it up your you know what I mean? So yeah. So this one, no, I'm single now, so I didn't have an opportunity to have one run, so
wow.
But I like it. This is actually, I'm doing this because of Stratt. Matter of fact, no, you know what? The story comes right back to you.
Thanks, my flop. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Ron is based. Love his channel. Thank you all. Yeah, good. He got to the magic numbers. But listen, if any of you can help him, he really does need more than 1,000, because after you hit the 1,000, you got to file the paperwork and everything with YouTube. And if he drops below 1,000 after he files the paperwork, then he's going to have to start all over once he's sure he's over it, and he's not going to go beyond it. And
That's
things
why
like
I
that.
was
So
saying, don't if you want to.
I wouldn't do it until you had 1,025. Don't file that
I'm
stuff.
not gonna.
But
look,
you're there now, so that's good. You know, it's good that you got there.
Not for nothing. No, I'm gonna be honest. I told Anthony this earlier. I just want to get it over with. It's like all of a sudden my mind was thinking about it, and everybody was bringing it up to me, and I'm like, I got stuck in that 950, 960 area for like a month or two. It just kept going up, and then all of a sudden it hit there, and it just went, we're gonna make you wait like that. But now with this, it's good. It's done, and I'm not gonna fill anything out yet. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and it's just like I said. And let's see, because there may be people that really, they don't like it, and I understand that, right? Like I understand.
Yeah, I remember when I was at about that level. You see, like it would drop by like 3 or 4 subscribers, and I would get all pissed off. Like, what did I do wrong? Fuck those people,
Yeah. I noticed that pattern because at first I'll be honest, like maybe around 600 subscribers, I used to get really ticked off, but I didn't realize it because you'll see, I don't get like at your level, they don't show like 10 or whatever. You'll see like either 10 or 100 at a time. On mine, it goes from 1 to 2 to 3. So it'll start showing that. And then it'll show I get 3 and then 2 unsubscribe. Then I'll get 5 and 2 more unsubscribe. And like, it'll drive you insane. So at one point I stopped looking. Then one video did really good, and I jumped up 100 or something subs like that on an Asteroid video, and I don't know. It drove me nuts starting to look at it.
You can't look at them that much. And Heisenberg is asking random, but whatever happened to Josh and Artemis? You could go to their channel and see their last show. They decided that they're going to sort of table the UFO subject and go cover other things, movies and things. I think so, and good for them because they found their way out, right?
Yeah, they got and not for nothing. It's tough, the UFO thing, because I told you when I created the channel, it wasn't that I was watching you S4 and all these channels and UFO.
Yes, it
Twitter.
was. You said that guy Steve Cambian sucks. I could do a better show than him.
I think I would have did another field if I would have.
I was getting pissy though because you know how many people that used to come to my live chat went and started a show after they were in my live chat. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is everybody in my live chat starting a show? Because then I want success for everybody though. I'm one of those people. Success. If you're successful, it doesn't diminish my success one bit. I congratulate people. This is a tough thing to do. It's really tough.
I realized that right away. As soon as I did the channel and I was having fun with it, then that's when I recognized everybody else and UFO Twitter. And I was like, okay, I could have thought this out a little better, right? And then as time goes on, I decided, I love astronomy and everything, so I don't have to stop talking about UFOs. But I want to talk about other stuff too. And because the UFO thing is hard, because it's not like there's UFOs landing every other day that you could talk about. You have to recycle and talk about the same thing over
I struggle to do 4 shows a week, and sometimes we throw in other topics, and to me it's still struggle. I think that some people are just on the take that do too many shows on purpose because it's more super chats or whatever it is. But I think you're like robbing the audience because I don't think you could do a show every day and do a really good show. And honestly, the people that I see doing daily shows, they're weak. Every show's weak. So who cares?
They're either regurgitating, recycling story over and over, or they're just winging it. That's it. And just like you said, spending a few hours to collect super chats and stuff like that. And that's why I had just a Saturday. I was doing Saturday. Actually, I was never doing the live streaming. I was just uploading videos. Then I decided I've been wanting to stream. I started the Saturday show at 3 p.m. Eastern time, right? And then it was because of you with the strat. I was thinking I want to recreate a series. I'm just trying to figure out on what. And I said, you know what? The recreation of maybe I'll do dioramas and recreate crash scenes. And I wasn't sure. And I mean, Stephen, not 2 minutes after I'm thinking that, I go on YouTube. You're on with Michael Strack talking about crash retrievals and everything. And remember I asked you, do you have Michael Strack's contact information? And you
Yeah, but I didn't know you're going to steal him away from me so he could do a live show with you every week. That's a little selfish.
No,
it's like me calling up. I would actually. I admire you for your balls because if I would have thought of that, if I would have knew he would do that with somebody, I would have asked him before you. But I didn't.
Slow down, my Mr. Host, man. All right, respectfully, that wasn't when that happened. What happened there is when you gave me his info, I pitched the idea what I want to do on Saturdays with the dioramas, and he said every time I finish the dioramas, he'll come on, and we created it called Dark Files because after his book. So we named it that. So every time I'm done, he'll come on my Saturday, and he's going to narrate while I display and show the new dioramas. But then, as time went on, Jim Goodall was on with with Lynn on Rebellious Ufology. So he was co-hosting with her, and then something happened with she's moving, and she put the show on hiatus for a few months or indefinitely. So when I heard that, I told her in chat, I said, "Would Jim think about coming hanging out with me?" And he said, "Sure." And because we already had met and everything, so he was really cool. And then I decided, I text Michael. I said, "Give me a call." He called me, and I said, "Yo, Jim's going to be doing this. You want to live host too? I know you can't be there the whole entire time," but he said, "Sure." That's it. That's all it was. But that was way after you gave me that information. But you did introduce me to him. So basically, like.
Yeah, actually, if people ask me what researchers I like, and Michael Strack is one of the first people that comes to mind. And I've been following him since a long time. I used to really love that he would talk about black projects, but apparently because of his job now, he can no longer do that because he's essentially working for the people he used to cover, so they don't like it. He can't go talking smack about them now.
Well, here's something. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is saying without saying because it's not my place to say. It's his.
Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have brought that up, but I just.
No. Yeah. I don't think what you just said, I don't think that's going to be an issue much longer. Okay, we'll put it that way. And I'm not saying that in a negative way for him. Everything that's going on for him is good. So that's why he's able to post now, not just from what you said. It was living situations, certain things in his life, because he was telling me. And so that's why when I seen that, I didn't like that my phone went off at 4:30 in the morning. But I was still happy that I see that he's posting now. And he's saying that now.
Well, it's good, though, for people that are unaware. Everybody knows now. So you do a show every week with those guys. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I caught some of them. It's a much better show when Michael Strack is there and Jim is there.
I agree 100%.
I'm just busting your balls. You do a good job by yourself too, but I like it better when Strack's there.
Look at the I'm going to get back to that in a second, Stephen. I'm not letting that one go. But look at the subscribers. That's my birthday, 10/10. How awesome is that?
Yeah, good. Awesome is that your birthday? That's my brother's birthday. October 10th is my brother's birthday.
Yep, 10/10.
That's weird. Sir. That's my brother's birthday.
There's a lot of us Libras, especially for some reason in the chat. Like one day when I said it was my birthday, it's Anthony's like a couple of days before, Sweet Caroline, everybody. It's like
I got some questions that I have prepared for you because I wonder because you cover NASA and space stuff a lot. I don't really cover it. I mean, I read a lot of information, but there's all these conspiracies. First of all, the NASA "we never went to the moon" conspiracy. That one I say is bull. Do you think there's anything to the conspiracy about the moon landing being faked or hoaxed or? We
went to the moon.
There you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We went to the moon.
We agree on that one.
Yeah.
But what about all of this conspiracies about NASA airbrushing photos of the moon, taking things out, that they don't want people to see or know about. What do you think about that? Because I'm undecided on that issue.
I think that's, I'll say, partially true on things. I don't think it's done so much like that, but I've seen things. I wish if I would have, like, I'll be honest, if I would have knew, I would have prepared a lot better and had some stuff for you. But with
Well, I
regard,
told you I was going to ask you questions about this stuff, Ron. Like, come on, man. No, it's enough. It's enough to just. I wanted to have this show so that when people ask me, I can refer them and say, well, I can give my opinion, but Ron is much more, I would say, an expert in space history and NASA and all of these things. So maybe he has a more informed or better opinion of these conspiracies. Do you think it's partially true? There has been witness testimony who say they witnessed seeing photographs of structures on the moon before they airbrushed out the structures and released the photos.
I believe that too, and I've seen and it's funny that some videos that used to be online
are gone.
They've been wiped offline, and people will say that's conspiracy talk right there. No, it's not. Go find them. I mean, you may find a torrent somewhere that doesn't count as, oh, it wasn't cleaned off the internet. No, you go through search engines and try to find it. It's gone. There was one that there's a few that had an actual one I'm not sure about. Looked like it was a flying saucer, right? And then that was buffed out. But there was another one that was similar to that, and that disappeared. But that was a legitimate picture, and they actually replaced it. They've done it a number of times. You know what I mean? And
yeah, and have you ever seen any of these Darcy Weir documentaries on the secret space program? He's got a bunch of stuff on that, on them hiding hiding things from the public. You know,
it's funny you say that because, you know, Anthony has his show on Sundays at 5 p.m. He just so happens he's covering Darcy Weir with NASA tomorrow.
Really?
I'm honest. I swear, when he mentioned it to me before, he confused me. I was like, wait a minute. I think that's what Steven told me we're doing NASA today or something like that.
Way to get your friend a plug, though. Great job. I'm going to share this because some people have said some really nasty negative stuff about Darcy Weir, but I talked to him and I disagreed with him on he did a documentary on Phil Schneider that was Phil Schneider is telling the truth. But he and I talked and we sort of made peace over that because what he said, and I think that's very human of him, he said, I made some major mistakes in that as one of the first documentaries I made. I should have gotten the other side of the story from somebody more skeptical of him. I should have did more background research into him. I did not find all those things you found, Stephen, or I would have included it in the documentary. He basically said he did sloppy work there and he's learned from it and he's doing it better now. And I thought that was very fair of him. So in other words, he didn't just blow me off. He talked to me because I sent him all the information that I had that pretty much shows that Phil Schneider was just a mental patient, essentially.
Yep.
But I'm going to share this. This is from his Secret Space UFOs, NASA's first mission. And I think this is one of the better of his documentaries. I don't know if this is the one that Anthony is covering, but I just wanted to put this one out there. If you're interested in this topic, this is a very good, well-made documentary about NASA's first missions and all of the strangeness. And much of this you may not have heard before, but in all the early space missions, those astronauts were seeing weird stuff in space, and they were some of the few first people there. It's pretty interesting to hear the history on that too. And how they didn't really talk about it back then. Like when these things happened, they didn't really, there wasn't like a major media push like, oh, We just put the third astronaut in space to orbit Earth, and he saw all kinds of UFOs and strange things in space when we put him there. They didn't talk about it, which is strange to me that they wouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, no. No, he's done. I watched his work in the past. He's good, and I'm glad you said what you said about him. Look, there you go. Yes, this is what I'm covering. Darcy is. Oh, it's his guest tomorrow. I didn't. Man, you see how I don't pay attention, man? Wow.
You guys both are starting to piss me off, though, because listen, I just saw this documentary, and I have talked to Darcy previously, so I said, you know what? I'm going to message him and ask him to come on my show and talk about this. I just messaged him, Anthony.
You can't say you didn't tell me anything about
these sons of bitches that started their shows after mine are taking my guests. This guy, Ron's got Michael Schratt every goddamn week. I would have Michael Schratt every week if I could.
Yeah, you know what? If you ask Michael, he'd come on your show, no problem. He's just a great guy.
I know he will. I'm going to ask him to come and do the Cash Landrum incident with me, but I don't want to look like a slouch next to Michael Schratt, so I have to do a lot more homework first.
Well, first of all, Michael's not going to let you talk, okay? So he's going to go into his spiel and just right through it. But
no, I love it when he does that, though.
Me too. It's when I have them both. All I gotta say, welcome to the show, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. We got Jim. Go ahead, go. And then I just go. I eat crackers and stuff like that. Just let them talk.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that, Anthony, just so I can tell everybody that you're stealing guests from my show now. You son of a.
Oh wow!
You guys are all pissing me off. You know, my everybody's got to have a UFO show now, and then they put them on at the same time as me sometimes, yeah. I think my son is 6. He's going to start a UFO show next week, he said.
Did you see what Bobby Broadway said? That's so funny, man.
No, I missed it. What did he say?
I'm scrolling back. He said, we got to get Ron enough super chats on his next live so he can get a good velour tracksuit.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, huh? You trying to
guys,
goof on my Italian?
And by the way, just every once in a while, somebody will message me when I joke with you guys and like dress me down. Like, you're so nasty to those guys, and they're so friendly to you. I'm just kidding. It's okay. We're just busting each other's balls. But I will tell you this: you better buy some hoodies and warm clothes, because you guys are coming here to the cabin. It was 37 last night, and it's not even November yet. So
I love that. I love it. I love that. Hey, sis.
I was thinking of you guys and pissed off today because I was making firewood, and I was going to call it a day at like 1 o'clock. I had enough, and then I went, "Oh no, I'm going to have guests, and we got to have a bonfire outside." So I had to make more firewood because of you assholes. Thank you. But yeah, when you come here, we're going to do a bonfire outside and do a sky watch with all the good cameras, and we're going to live stream it, the whole thing.
So you mean you're gonna do that with the a-holes?
Yeah, with YouTube boners. Yeah. No, so we're gonna. I told Anthony yesterday I got a lot of scrap wood and stuff. We're gonna have we gotta have a big, huge bonfire, because you can't sit outside here for hours without a big fire next to you. You'll die. You'll freeze to death. So I got us plenty of firewood. We're gonna have ribs, steaks, pizzas, shrimp, and chicken wings, and all kinds of fun stuff here. We'll have a really good time. But I am putting you to work, because I'm going to make you live stream for most of the time that you're here. Then I'm going to live stream you guys sleeping, just because it's funny. 8 hours of you guys sleeping. I need the views.
Well, I only sleep 4.
People will tune in just to see what the hell it is. Be like, what are these guys doing sleeping in a cabin?
As long as we're not spooning, it's okay. No
stream is this? No, I have separate beds for you. One of you is getting a couch, and one of you dummies got to go in that into the sleeping loft, though, and that's pretty tight. So I don't know. You guys can flip a coin for who does that.
Oh God, we're gonna have to lube up.
Yeah, and
I'll do whatever.
there's a state forest right next to me here, so if you want to go look for Bigfoot, we could do that too. I thought that would be fun. But back
Yeah,
to NASA, we're supposed to be here. So you think they did or are hiding what's on the moon? Darcy seems convinced of it, and he's got good evidence of that.
but see, here's what I think. I don't think it's like some aliens or stuff like that. That there's an alien civilization up there. I don't believe that's what's going on. I just talked about this not too long ago. NASA, they've been looking to create a base up there, but now they're looking to have a base up there by 2028, right? And they're creating actual business cargo lanes, right? Low Earth orbit is a big business now. That's it. And for instance, for their 2023 fiscal year, for their budget, NASA, you know how they just did the DART mission, right? And that's a few $100 million, right?
That was amazing.
Right. So, and don't let me forget about that. I want you to try something that's funny. So that you figure, okay, planetary defense, that's awesome. They're doing that. That shows they're really taking an interest and taking it serious. So what do they do? In 2023, they are cutting the budget for planetary defense by over 72%, so they can invest it into low Earth orbit for business and to retrieve the Mars samples that isn't going to happen till 2033. But they're taking, like, it's going from 180 million dollars to down to 82 million or something like that. They're taking all money from.
So what you're saying is it's good that I have an apocalypse cabin because an asteroid could hit Earth because they don't have the money to deflect it.
Well, they don't have a way to do anything. That was just that test. But like, even if just think about it this way, we launched that DART in November 24th, 2021. It reached the asteroid September 26, 2022, nearly 10 months later. But that means we would have to see the asteroid at least minimum a year or so out. Then we need a year and all that to prepare and just to launch, and then wait another. So we need like 3 years, just hope that we could save us right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's
it's not
scary.
like, yeah, it's not like we have a bunch of those little DART things sitting around that we can launch at any time. They have to prepare. Let's even say they could get it done in 2 months. It's still going to take 10 months to get out there. And then you have to hope it actually does deflect it, because just because they deflected this, a lot of the deflection is coming from the actual dust. Not all asteroids are made up the same way. So maybe the next one you tried on may not even deflect as much, a half as much. You know what I mean? So
could be made of different elements and materials, right?
Exactly. And maybe it doesn't, a lot of dust doesn't come off it as this one, and maybe it doesn't deflect it as much. I think it changed the orbit time by 32 minutes because it was orbiting the bigger one.
Since I have you here, I want to ask you too about the Mars samples, because many people think that in the late 70s, there was proof that there is the building blocks of life, at least microbial life, on Mars. But these samples that are coming back now are supposed to either prove or disprove that there is microbial or some sort of life on Mars. Do you think there is life, even bacteria or microbial life, or you know, the evidence that there was at one time those things on Mars?
Probably. I mean,
yeah.
Think about it. Mars makeup right now, from billions of years ago, right, was almost like an Earth, like that. So, is there like I think they'll find something like that, but not for nothing though. How many billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars have they spent for the last 20-something plus years looking for microbial life? Right. And now and that's fine. Exploration's fine and everything. We have a helicopter that's flying around on Mars, right? There's a guy flying a drone on Mars from his living room.
Yeah. And that's an interesting engineering problem, because isn't it like Mars has a third less gravity or something like that than Earth?
Yep, and they figured that out because with the rotors, the rotors are shaped a certain way, and there's more rotors just to deal with that. But I'm trying to find it. I just showed it a couple of weeks ago. Did you see? So they were doing a flight, right? And I think it was on flight 33. They take a bunch of still images, and all of a sudden, as it's flying, like it looks like some piece of plastic or something. It just gets caught on it. Now, do I think that means somebody opened their door and their garbage bag flew out and they got caught in the rotors? No, but it's just strange to me that as this is up in the air, all of a sudden something organic got caught onto this helicopter, and NASA hasn't figured out what that is yet. Like,
well, could have been contamination though from Earth, or
you know what? Could it being that there's so many windstorms up there? More than likely, it's probably from some previous mission, maybe a decal or something that blown in the wind and just by chance got caught on this freaking helicopter.
Do you know much about Mars terraforming projects or ideas? Do you think that it is? I think it is entirely possible to terraform Mars in a few generations. In 2 generations, they could do it.
I know.
The problem is it's not warm enough, but what we could do is release a lot of carbon dioxide. We're great at creating carbon dioxide here on this planet. We could create a bunch of plants to create carbon dioxide, which would increase the atmosphere gases and hold more heat in. And, I think it's very, very not only possible, I think it's probable that they could do it in a relatively short amount of time, a few hundred years.
Oh, absolutely. It won't be terraformed in our lifetime, I don't think. Like, I know some people think it could be done in 10, 20 years or something like that. But you know what probably could be done? I don't know. Have you ever been to Toronto or anything like that? Right.
I've been to Canada, yeah.
Yeah, Canada. The first time I went to Canada in Toronto, I was there on business, and for lunch, I just couldn't find anything. Where the hell are the stores? Everything's on the ground like that. You go downstairs, and that's where everything is, like the sub levels.
It's funny. Italy is like that. All the restaurants you go downstairs to, and it's like they live on the top floors, the families that run the restaurants, but the restaurant's in the basement. I always thought that was a little strange. Yeah, and Toronto's like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, the first week I survived on Taco Bell because I didn't know there was anything else. But with Mars, it's funny because I know Anthony's probably laughing right now because as soon as you mentioned that, I think something is so going on with NASA, ESA, the European Space Agency, the United, what is that? Emirates, the Arab Emirates, right? UAE, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even China, if you remember, I think it was when the Perseverance was launched to go. Do you know 3 missions within 14 days or 20 days all reached Mars, right?
And they all didn't make it.
No, they did.
But there was a separate time where like Russians sent probes and they all got shot down or something, people say.
But I'm talking about sending to Mars, right? So when I know there's a window that it's the best time to launch because it's the shortest trip to Mars, right? So I know everybody will think, this is my own thoughts on this. People will think that, that's why they all did it at the same time. But think about it. Missions all getting there. One mission, the United Emirates, their mission there is studying the atmosphere. China's mission is to monitor underneath the oceans, what's under Mars, and America's is land. So all 3 different missions that are so-called separate missions that all chose to do it themselves, they're all going there at the same time. And the moon at the same time. And I know this is like conspiracy stuff, sounds nuts and everything.
That's why we're here, Ron.
Yeah, but the thing is this. I think something's really going on because there's a big rush, right? That they're sending multiple missions at the same time to Mars, right? 1. Then you have want to build a base on the moon by 2028, and they actually want to put a sperm bank on the moon to hide, to put like the however they store it up there, right? So, but the
Wait,
other,
they're gonna have a jizz bank on the moon? I never
yeah,
heard of this.
I'm not
A
kidding you.
moon jizz bank. Why
If
would
I
you put it on the moon? Why would
if
you
I
need jizz on the moon,
I'm
Ron?
going to show you something. What? Well, because they could store it up there because it's so cold, and then they'll bury it underneath that. It'll be protected even from strikes and everything like that. And it's so cold up there that they won't even have to like freeze it and use
But what
anything.
do you do with just jizz? What, you need women's eggs too, or
Well,
no?
I
They're
guess
gonna
what they
start with the jizz and get the eggs later. I
well,
don't understand
I
why.
think they're doing everything. Because I think it's for in case we
Yeah,
get
Asman
hit.
says, why would they do that? Come on, Ron. Why would they have a jizz bank on the moon?
Listen, I'm not the one that does this. I'm just telling you. Give me 1 second. Watch.
You heard it here first, friends. There's a jizz bank coming to the moon near you.
Watch this.
Yes.
Here we go. Here we go. Now, I know, again, because people go crazy when they see this newspaper or that one. It's either a rag or like this got nothing to do with politics. So please. But here, I'm going to send you this. This is a private. I'm going to send you this link,
In the private
Stephen.
chat.
It's the second one. The second one that starts in New York Post. No, and it's not just the New York Post that did this. There's a bunch of different.
They're sending a lot of jizz. Hold on, friends. I'll share this one moment here. 1 second.
But now, so think right as you're pulling that up, that's those things, the Mars, the moon. But then if you notice, you have Musk.
6.7 million sperm samples.
Yeah. On the
That's
right there, you could X out that little video so it stops on your thing if you want. There you go.
Oh, here, we'll just go to the article. Scientists have begun to lay plans for repopulation, starting with a sperm bank on the moon. In what they're calling a modern global insurance policy, mechanical engineers have proposed that humans establish a repository of productive cells. All right, so there will be eggs, sperm, and ova from 6.7 million of Earth's species, including humans. Oh, so it's like an ark.
Yes.
A genetic ark. That makes sense. In case something happens here, they'll be able to go there and get the material and start over here. I guess, so, right?
But right. So now that, but now think about this. You got Musk, Bezos, and the other guy, Branson. You remember how they're all at the same time now? They're all they were all testing getting their rockets. One looked like a giant dildo. Bezos, his thing. Then you have Musk. Musk already, his SpaceX already has that down pat, getting to space. So they're the leader in that.
Oh, I think SpaceX is in the lead of these private companies. Their technology is worlds ahead of everybody else's.
And we're getting to orbit. He's even blowing NASA away with that right now. But the thing is this. You have these billionaires that are all getting up into low Earth orbit with their ships, and they're actually starting to create transport lines. And I go back to, they can make money off that, and they will make money off it. I thought they were like, they're testing their toys when it's time to get the F out of here. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. And this is what I threw in there as a belief with it, but there's so much more to this of what I'm talking about now. I know it sounds like a lot of gibberish, and it definitely sounds like nutball stuff. I know it does, but it's a whole pattern.
Well, no, actually, a genetic bank on the moon does make a lot of sense, because you don't know what could happen here on Earth. There could be some major catastrophe, and most of Earth could become sterile for some reason. What if there's a nuclear bomb and everybody gets sterilized by the nuclear fallout or whatever? They could go to the moon, get the material, and humanity would survive. What do you think of Musk's insistence? And I think this is important. Musk insists that his whole drive is that we become a two-planet species. Because if, like, let's say we are the only intelligent life on Earth, an asteroid could come along and destroy Earth, and all of intelligent life in the universe is gone. Consciousness would be gone for maybe millions of years until something else evolved. But his push seems to be to become a two-planet species to make sure that humanity survives anything. Because
Well, here's
the
the
odds of both planets being completely destroyed and
but
all the inhabitants killed is pretty high.
but
Or
here's the thing.
pretty low, I mean.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that. I know I've heard him say that a lot, and one is first, it doesn't help that NASA's like lowering the planetary defense budget by 72%, right? So that's a strike against us. But why I'm against terraforming Mars and all that, first of all, Jupiter is a comet killer. All right. That helps us with comets and a lot of asteroids. It's
Yeah.
gravity.
And just for anybody that doesn't understand, you should explain. So Jupiter is almost like a magnet for all of the space trash and meteors and comets and everything else that could hit Earth, might hit Earth, but because Jupiter is so dense everything gets pulled into it, right?
It's gravity, its gravitational pull is so strong like that. So that's why they call it a comet killer. All right. Like, because as they're coming, it's so strong, its gravitational pull, that actually they start orbiting around there and they get sucked in. That's why we remember Hale-Bopp that crashed into Jupiter. Jupiter sucked that thing right to it like that. It got that. But so you got Jupiter that helps us, but so does Mars. Mars just got an impact. They just showed it the other day, the pictures of it, and they even recorded the sounds of it. Mars gets hit a lot. And why? Because of the lack of the atmosphere. So
things don't burn up going through the thin atmosphere.
Reason why Earth doesn't get hit as much as these other things. Because Jupiter and Mars, even the moon, are absorbing things like that. You know, so if we take that away, Mars, I don't think I don't think we will last there much at all. You know, I think it would be a nightmare with meteors and all that there. I don't think we would have. Yeah, I don't think and it's not like it's being bombarded, you know, but by the time they terraform that, I think it would I don't think that would work. I don't believe.
Well, you know, one of the problems that nobody talks about is that even if you terraform the entire planet of Mars, make it breathable atmosphere, and, you know, build up an atmosphere with the ozone and everything so that you can go outside and not get skin cancer instantly. I mean, the one problem that they'll never overcome is the gravity problem. What don't you think, if humans live there long term forever, something weird would happen to the humans there? They would become different humans because of the 1/3 less gravity, right?
Yeah, how it would have to work is there would be people, because of, like, even the people that are in orbit and they stay a year, their bone density weakens, everything.
Yeah.
So with the difference in gravity, they would have to, like, let's say they set up a base there, they would literally, for that to be populated, it would have to be populated with people born there. Because like the people will be affected by it. But like with the gravity, we're not gonna be able to change that, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, you can terraform the whole planet, but the gravity is not going to change.
Yeah, so I think like what kind of a human would be able to live there is ones that would actually be born there, because the body would be born, and I guess.
Well, I would think that if somebody lived there long term, eventually their body would get used to it and adapt and overcome.
But it still doesn't overcome. Yes, I think so, and it depends on
well, 1/3 less gravity. What would probably happen? I heard some planetary scientists say what would probably happen is that the people living there long term, especially over generations, would eventually become sort of longer and thinner and less muscle mass, because they don't need as much muscle mass because of the lower gravity. they would become different humans, though. And isn't that interesting? And then what would happen when they came back to Earth? They would feel like the Earth was beating them down because, oh my God, it's so hard to walk. It's so
You
hard
know,
to move because it's a third more pressure on me than I'm used to. It's just interesting philosophical. The Martians would become their own species of humans. They really would.
they would like evolve to that. And the thing is this: have you ever seen the show The Expanse?
Yes.
Okay, actually, that show is when with the science behind it is, of course, they're sci-fi. They're all like saying, "Hey, in the future." But with what would happen when they show like Mars and everything with the gravitational, like what you were just talking about, they were pretty much on the money with that. How they're showing how people would be affected, where if Martians would come to Earth or we would go to Mars, the difference and everything, it's pretty much what you said. Like people would be everything enlarged, because like over here, again, the bone density would be much weaker, be
Yeah. And then,
less.
like I said, it brings up a lot of philosophical questions. Like, let's say that Elon Musk is successful and he gets to Mars, he begins a Mars colony, and people start living there long term. What if you went there and then you lived there for 30 years and your body had become so used to that Martian gravity and environment? Could you even go back to Earth, or would that could cause all kinds of health problems if you came back to Earth?
That's
Because
what I think.
you'd feel like you were getting crushed by Earth's gravity after 30 years of Mars gravity. It's just interesting
It's the G
philosophically.
force. You would feel the G force
Yeah, and
of,
there's a
of
lot of great science fiction about Mars colonies getting started, and then they break away from Earth and say, "We don't want anything to do with you on Earth. We're going to have our own government and our own planet here." And then they battle. It's great food for science fiction, but it could happen.
Did you
And then
ever?
there's another one. While we're on Mars,
Go ahead.
this face on Mars, is that really an ancient monument, or is it, as
No,
NASA has described, a trick of light and shadow?
that's all it is because they showed
I
it
agree.
there. It's
I
just
agree.
mountains. That's it. And it just so happens the shadows make it look like that. That's all. I gotta find this for you. Where is it?
What about
Jesus.
all the other Mars anomalies that people post? Most of them I find to be not very credible. What about
All
you?
crap. There's most of them all crap like
All
that.
crap? Yeah.
Most of them are like all crap. There's some like come on, when they show like they're putting in these doorways and they're this, then you could go to NASA, you could go find a photo and see the real photo, and it's just nothing there. Or it's I always forget how you pronounce that. Is it called pareidolia? What is that called?
When you see things pareidolia, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like if you look at things long enough, you can
Yeah,
make
you
out
look at
shapes.
clouds, you're going to see a dog or a puppy or, an
Yeah,
angel
same
or.
thing. Same thing. Looking at rocks, some rocks, the way they're formed, looks like a shin bone or something. But somebody will say, "Oh, look, there's bones on Mars or something," and that's not to say that it's not possible like that. But I think a lot of the stuff that they put is that they're just seeing shapes, or it's a lot of things get photoshopped in. Some of them are real pictures from NASA, and it just looks like that. And I mean, who knows? I don't think there's a rat running around Mars. You know what I mean? Like that on the top of a hill.
Oh
You know?
yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
Oh,
it's people send me these things, but most of them, I think you're right. They're pareidolia. Our mind tries to make sense and recognize patterns, so we're designed to recognize patterns, even if they're not really there. Our mind still tries to disorganize chaos into something. Yeah, I think a lot of it is pareidolia. But there's whole channels that's Miles Moon bases and that think that they find things, structures on Mars and structures on the moon. You think
well,
there's at least a kernel of truth in some of
it,
that, or is it
I,
just all nonsense?
no, I think there's some truth in it because here's the thing. What we don't realize when we see photos, like from let's say an orbiter or something like that, and they'll say, "Look at that, it has a shadow." You don't realize that that's not something that's like 10 feet tall. That's something that's like 100 feet tall or whatever. When you see that big shadow, so some of these things they're showing us are like tall. Like there's some that are like the Washington Monument. like just like erected around. And there's a lot out there, I believe, that are real, but we never get a close up of those, you know, and we don't have anything on Earth that, you know, you need like a 60-foot telescope to at least
Don't
see
you
the flag
think?
on the moon.
Don't you think it would be a good idea for NASA though? Well, you know how there's this whole conspiracy. There's pyramids on Mars and all of this. Don't you think it would be a good idea for NASA to send those rovers right to that area and get us close-up images so we could see that it's just rocks, it's just a mountain, it's not a pyramid, and they could shut everybody up? I mean, if
It,
I was in charge, I would do that. The first thing I would do is like, that rover's going to that pyramid, and we're going to see if it's really a pyramid or these people are nutters. They never do it, though. They never
I
do it.
I would, but I would they could do that, but I don't think they would because of wherever they're landed. If it's close, they should do
Yeah,
it.
you're right.
But if it's far,
It could be 300 miles or
yeah,
something
they'll
from the
never. That's
landing
the
site.
reason why.
Well,
But
don't you think
and
though that the same should apply to like, or would be good to apply to like the James Webb Telescope? Like people have been saying for years that the gray aliens come from Zeta Reticuli. What if you took that James Webb and you pointed it right at Zeta Reticuli to see if there's an inhabited planet there? You know, I would
I
do that
agree.
if I was in charge. I'm like, we're gonna find those aliens, or we're gonna tell people the truth that all the Zeta Reticuli stuff is just stories. There's no inhabited planets there, and it's very likely there isn't because it's a binary star system. So
I agree with you on that, bro. Especially with
yeah,
the James Webb. The James Webb can see, like, it can look over at Mars, like certain things. Believe it or not, like looking at the moon is just not good. That's way too close for it. Like that, believe is so. But here's something, because I'm gonna forget this. Um, did you ever hear the story? Oh Jesus, where is it? I did. Paul Amadeus. He was. It was. This is a story from the 20s, um, of a man that was in a coma, right, and that he lived. That he said they had consciousness slip. It's called consciousness sliding or something. That is slid into a person named Ralph Northrum in the year 3906. This guy lived a year in the future for a year, right? I
so
know.
he quantum leaped basically. This
Yeah,
is the plot of Quantum Leap.
yeah, it's called The Man Who Lived a Year in 3906, Paul Amadeus Denach, right? And so called when he lives, the reason why I just brought that up is part of it was I just went over this and I can't, that's why I'm sorry. I've been listening, but I've been trying to find the webpage. It has a list of the years of what he says transpired between them. But at one point, we colonized Mars with 20 million people. And a meteor came, I believe, an asteroid and destroyed us all, killed us, and we never colonized it again, or something like that. Now, that's not. I'm not saying that we could like to try to prove what I'm saying. No, because I have no idea what's going to happen. You know what I mean? But that's something you want to look up. It's really interesting read in a story, the Paul Amadeus Denach thing,
Yeah,
and
I'll
how
check it out. I've
in
never
the
heard of that, but it
as
sounds like Quantum Leap to me.
yeah, it does, because in the future, he's also saying that in 3906, like people, the only thing people have to do, like there's really no reason for laws anymore. The only thing that has to get enforced is that a person has to work at 2 years in their life, and everything else after that, there's no more like money, no nothing. And people have opened up the, I guess what we call the third eye. I forgot what the actual term is. Um, that's I just covered that, man, and I had the website. I wanted to tell you because it was about Mars, and I thought that was interesting when you said about colonizing it. I don't know, boss. You know, but NASA does like I love what NASA does, but I don't trust NASA at all. Like
Yeah, while
they
we're on the subject of NASA, don't you think that NASA has dropped the ball incredibly badly since the shuttle missions? Because they knew that those shuttles were like way overdue to be replaced, and they didn't even get a launch vehicle together until recently. They had a 5-year or 10-year lag, more than that. I think 20-year lag. We had to pay the Russians or Elon Musk to get us to low Earth orbit. They had to know that they needed a launch vehicle. They didn't do it. I don't understand that.
And to think like they've been absorbing the money the entire time, and then they get money, they do something, they launch something, and then say, "Oh, it failed. Okay, back to the drawing board." And we here on Earth sit back and go, "Okay, we'll take your word for it. It never made it where it had to go," or something like that. But NASA, think about it, dropping the ball. They're gonna try launching the Artemis again, right? What's up, Lord Ludacris? There you go. Nice.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Ludacris. Very kind of you.
It's awesome. Lord, he's the man, Lord Ludacris.
I'm drinking Dr. Pepper now instead of beer.
Yeah, I'm drinking Crystal Light stuff, I think.
Which is probably not much better for you. But thank you, Lord Ludacris. Says, great conversation tonight. Congrats again on the land purchase and continuing to stay sober. Keep up the great work. I intend to. We're going to keep it going one day at a time. About NASA, though, don't you think that Elon Musk is making them look like ass clowns? Because he doesn't have half their resources, does he?
No, and that's how he's now like the super richest person in the world, because they realized that SpaceX, they were always ridiculed, figured it out. And then when Musk came and said, "You know what? It's expensive, these rocket boosters. Why can't we just reuse it?" And then he did that with the Falcon 9, that it lands every time. You know what I mean? So that's
game changer, because then the cost of the launch just went down by orders of magnitude.
Yeah, and think about it, Stephen. This Artemis 1, right? We're launching all this stuff from Kazakhstan, going to the ISS, this, that, the other thing, but we can't fuel a damn rocket like that, the Artemis 1. And every time it's delayed, that's millions of dollars that just get wasted. They never want to comment on how much it costs. They're trying to say it's a cost of fuel, but that's what I mean. Like,
SpaceX I don't know I'm not aware. Like, what happens then? They fuel up the rocket, they can't launch, they lose the fuel.
No, what's happening is that no, it's not that. You got to first fuel the rocket up. What's happening is they're using I think it's liquid nitrogen, right? And
that will melt off.
Because I have it on my airbrush. I forgot what it's called, but it's the little clamp that it's like a quick connect, right? That it just snaps on like that. So they have those hoses that are quick connects. Well, they keep having a problem when they plug it in this quick connect that's probably 4 or 8 inches like that. It's a big one that it keeps leaking. So the first time they had that issue, so then they delayed it. Then they tried the second time. Guess what? The quick connect's leaking again. So they so-called fixed it. The third time they do it, it's leaking again. So they finally killed it because they have a 25-day window for each launch. Like that. So they wheeled it back in, did whatever repairs, and now they're wheeling it back out, I think November 1st after midnight. And then on the 14th, right after midnight, is the earliest they're going to take a shot at it again. But I mean, geez, you can't even get it fueled like that. And there's something bothering me, and they're so defensive on it. When every time they're asked a question, that's why they put Bill Nelson in charge. Okay, yeah, he was a former astronaut. Awesome. But they put him there for his political crap, because he used to be a senator, and everything you ask him, it's like skirts around something, and he brings up something emotional to make you think about that, like somebody died in 1929 or something crazy, but SpaceX blowing them away. They actually just signed the contract with SpaceX for low Earth orbit because they're going to be building I don't want to say a substation, but they want to build another like kind of a space station, like a hub they're looking to build now. So there's going to be a lot. That's why I'm surprised that Musk didn't get much more pushback on Starlink, because he flooding low Earth orbit with that stuff, man. I mean, he's launching 50, 60 every week like that. And he's got literally over 5,000 up there or 6,000 already. And he's looking to add another
Yeah,
14,000,
but you do have
15,000.
to remember that these are so-called micro satellites. They're very small compared to an average satellite, right? So maybe it doesn't take up as much space or
No, but
but
it
yeah,
causes other issues.
it's getting awful busy up there. Before I forget too, I want to make sure that I thank Tina who sent a super thanks and said to me in the comments, "Missed my dono again. I feel so invisible." And I want to apologize to the people sending the super thanks, but sometimes I miss that people are doing that, and I have to come up with a system to. I'm gonna, I guess, write them down or something because it used to be that people would send super chats, and we want to thank my flock and a few others. We'll read those later, but when people send a super thanks, we're not on air. It doesn't pop up in the chat. So I have to come up with a system because we certainly want to thank those people as well. So thank you, Tina. We appreciate your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. I'm going to come up with a system for the super thanks, and we'll thank every person that sends any money to us. We should, right, Ron?
No, yeah, I think, but, and you know what? I'll be honest, in Steven's defense, right? And sometimes it's difficult when you're doing the show like that and you get so involved in the story. Like the chat goes by sometimes so fast and something blinks, but I
Yeah, and I
understand where
also think
somebody
it's like
spends money. I know.
I noticed that a lot of shows will stop the guest in mid sentence to thank somebody for a super chat, and I just don't want to do that a lot of times. You know, like it seems like every few minutes we will have to stop the conversation to read the super chat. I don't know. I've been reading him at the end of the show or whatever. If I'm doing a solo show, sometimes even I'm doing a presentation, and it seems odd to stop every few minutes to you know. And we have my flock is everywhere, is all over the super chats tonight. One for $1.49, one for $1.99, another $1.49, another $1.99. Thank you very much for your kindness, generosity, and support. And one of the things my flock said is, Ron is based. Love his channel. Thank you all. So thank
Thank you,
you.
Sarah.
And yeah, we appreciate. I got a forest to pay for now, Ron. So we're going to be praising the cash hard here.
Look, there you go.
Yeah,
Wild
the
Ascension.
Wild Ascension with a kind of generous $4.99. It says, "With truth in our hearts, nothing can be escaped. That's where the true mirror of time shows us our inner self. Stay strong, can be, and you are truth." Thank you very much. Very kind and generous of all of you people. And yeah, now people will be talking smack, telling people that I'm buying a forest with super chats now, Ron. Instead of the PlayStation, I'm buying a whole forest now.
Yeah, send the green to buy some green.
we're gonna need a lot more super chats to pay for this forest I bought. So yeah, we thank your kindness, generosity, and support. But here's the good news, Ron. Like, I got really good at building things out of trees and trash. So I'm already starting to go around. I have friends that work in construction. They're going to be letting me know when there's a door or a window I can have or whatever. And I'm going to go start collecting this stuff and put it here at the cabin or over at the new build site.
You know what? I'm looking to do a total clean house here. I have so much stuff I want to get rid of. I'm going to send you a list because maybe there's some stuff you want or whatever. And while I'm going, I can bring it because I got electronics, all kind of stuff. And let me know too. Do you need to run any cable, like anything like Cat 6 or something?
I haven't. I'm in the beginning stages of designing this place, so it's going to be difficult for me to know right away. But my flock is everywhere. Thank you for another 99.
She goes again.
Super sticker. We appreciate it. Yeah, I right now I'm concerned with things like windows, doors, anything that can, because it's good to have the windows and then the design kind of goes around the windows that you got, or whatever. We're going to figure it out though, but I haven't decided how big the buildings. All I know so far is first thing we need is an outhouse. And then a woodshed, and I'm gonna it's just gonna be a campsite for a while. There'll be a fire ring and a little shed, lean-to shed, and we'll see. From there is going to be a big monster studio, and I'm going to be collecting trees and logs and resources and rocks for a while. It's going to be built though very on the cheap, because all the resources, Ron, it's like this whole studio is already sitting over there, Ron. It's just some assembly required. All the trees are there, all the wood is there. I just need a few things like windows, doors,
Well, Anthony, you're still out there. I really have a feeling, Anthony, this guy's going to try to drive us to work a lot when we go up there, man.
Well, I don't have very much for us to do though here. I have a little bit of like finishing work. I got to put a ceiling in a bathroom and a few other things. If one of you knows how to wire, if one of you knows how to wire electrical, I need 2 outlets put in.
I do low voltage, like networking. Yeah, I don't
maybe you can help me with some of the 12-volt stuff here. I don't know. I'll figure out something. Yeah, I'll put you to work. Mostly, we're going to try not to freeze to death outside doing a sky watch for, I don't know, a long time. We're going to get the laptops and we'll stream, but we're going to have to figure something out though, because if we capture something really cool on the cameras, I don't know. I'll talk to Anthony about if we can like instantly get it onto the stream to show what we just saw, because the webcam is not going to pick up too well anything, but we'll figure that out.
Well, let me see something. I'm going to send you something, Steven, right? This is funny because I didn't realize this. Anthony sent me this when we were talking before about Mars, right? I just tweeted you something.
Oh, let me take a look there.
Yeah.
Let me take a look then. Take a look here.
Sorry, Anthony.
One second here. You sent it in DMs.
DM, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I will share this. So it would appear to me that a lot of the Mars and moon conspiracies are nonsense, and this certainly kind of makes fun of that. Yeah, and that turned out to be a natural formation, despite what everybody said. And you know what's interesting, though? If you track that story, people made tens of thousands of dollars saying that this was some kind of entrance to some secret base on Mars, or, natural formation. Right angles can occur in nature, You know
what I started doing? You know how you debunk these hucksters and these frauds? Well, I just started having to do that with asteroid fearmongers, because they're creating videos about asteroids that are going to hit the Earth. Meanwhile, they're going to pass by at 12 million miles like that. And people are scared to death, and they're making killings on that. So I just created my first video last week, basically telling people, no, they're not going to hit, because these channels are full of crap. They're making money on fear, So I don't like that.
Amy says that her husband built our home from scratch, trees, rocks, etc. A 4-year-old kid said, "This is a homemade house," which is true. Yeah, send me some pictures, Amy. I'm looking for ideas. So anybody that has pictures of cool log-made structures or whatever, I'm still figuring out a design for our new world headquarters. Yeah. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, you guys can come to the new place. Well, you can come here, and then I'll take you over to the new place and put you to work, because there's a lot of downed trees. So I could use some manpower. We're going to stack up the good ones. And yeah.
I'll throw down. I have limitations. I'm sickling.
You're sickly?
No. I got some ailments, but I'm still physically very capable. So
I'm good. And Spooky is reminding everybody to subscribe to Ron. And he hit his magic numbers today, which is a good thing, because that means he will finally be able to he'll be able to praise the cash too, friends. And I want everybody to praise the cash.
Thank you so much, Carrie.
And we definitely want to say congratulations to Ron for hitting his magic numbers. He will be able to be monetized now, thanks to the kindness of all of you people. And really, you should check out his videos. He works really
Oh,
hard.
you know what's so awesome now about that? Because I've been wanting to do a members thing, but where I can do like the videos for the members, like the private ones when I'm building all the stuff. I've been dying to do that. I just didn't know what to use. And everybody was telling me, wait till you able to get members, but I'm not sure. If anybody has an idea, please, or you, Steven, all I want to do is for members, be able to do private streams, but not with something that anybody can end up getting the URL. I want it really just private and
No,
where we
you could
can
do
hang
that.
out.
You just start the stream and then you change the stream. You just edit video and change it to private, and then only the people with the link can go there.
But what if somebody shares that URL out?
Yeah, then it's a problem.
That's the only thing I mean. I'm not trying to make create a headache or nothing like that. I'm just trying to find something that the people that actually do spend money to make it fair that they get to hang out, because I want to make it where
Yeah, I don't know. I did it on Patreon, and based on the number of people that were on the stream, I don't think anybody shared it. You just put them on the honor system. I've done some
Yeah.
private Patreon only streams, and that's what I did. I just started the stream, and then I would change it to private after the stream was up, and then I would put the link on the Patreon as a post.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I don't want to
that
make
worked.
it like hard.
But I stopped doing them though because it seemed like I was doing a 2-hour stream for 9 people. So I thought this isn't, but people liked it, so maybe it's a good thing. And that reminds me, it's near the end of the month, which is always crunch time for me because I always go, oh, I gotta make some extra stuff for the Patreon folks, and I'll be doing that tonight and tomorrow, and there will be a new video of this forest and forested land and the new world headquarters for my company. And I made some videos while I was there looking at the property, and there's some fun stuff there that'll be a little bit of a bonus before I post it publicly next week. So what do you have coming up on your show, Ron, in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I've been working on creating these. Hopefully it's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. Been working on these little miniature cities, like an alien story, like that, like a kind of it's not a documentary and it's not a movie. Well, maybe a little mini ones. I'm trying to make this little series, but not stop motion. Anyway, I'm working on a little series that hopefully should be coming out soon. And the website, on my show wise, just my normal. I have nothing super planned, nothing like that. You just lost your light. I just seen you go dark.
Oh, did I?
No, for a minute there, maybe it was your screen went black because I was looking straight and I just seen you go dark.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We have lights still.
What I'm doing is because a lot of people have been asking me, with the 3D printing and with the models and everything. And there's some I've been creating and the dioramas. A lot of people want to buy stuff. And what I did was I formatted I erased my entire website, just got tired of it. And now I'm just putting a store up there. So that'll probably be open soon. I should have by rights had it done yesterday, and it won't be done for another week.
I know how that goes. Yeah, you start getting into this project, and it takes longer than you think.
I'm waiting because this Wednesday. All right, here's the shameless plug. So Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time is when I do Space Talk. That's with Jim Goodall and Michael Strat. Jim went to Hawaii, but then Strat went to Hawaii too. And then Jim sends me a video the other day where they're both in third phase of the moon. They're in a video with, right? So I don't even know if they're going to be back yet Wednesday. So I don't know.
Oh, why do you think they're going to bounce on you for some reason?
Oh, no. I think at some point they, like Jim, first of all, Jim Jim's never going to be a permanent thing, because if Lynn decides to, I always talk to her about that. If she starts up and if he wants to do both, that's fine. But if he only wants to do one a week, I would never do that. Try to convince him, oh, don't go back to her. No, he was with her. That's by rights. You go back, do what you got to do.
Well, I don't know. I don't keep up too much, so I didn't even know she stopped her show.
No, and Michael, Michael was never, like Michael said, sure, but he's never been like that. He'll be able to do the whole thing because he works and everything. So that's why I moved the show back an hour to 7 p.m.
Yeah, well, normal people have jobs, Ron.
I know. Trust me, I know. You know, that's why I always look so like fresh and awoke. Yeah. But
there is 2 documentaries full of third phase faking UFO videos in the description of this video. So I encourage you to watch. I don't want to talk about them anymore. So now I just give people the link, and you can see their long and sordid history of faking all kinds of stuff. You know, it's telling people that third phase fake things is like telling people water is wet. And, you know, it is what it is, though. People, they're still gonna do well, because, you know, I just think some people, if you're willing to have no morals, you're gonna get more views than people who won't fake things or won't, you know. That's the way of the world. But I will say this, you know, karma always catches up to everybody. So you might get ahead in the short term, but it'll balance out. Everybody gets what they've earned.
I still, no matter what, I still rather just do it the way I'm doing it. And can I come out and become a wizard overnight and start putting videos out? Everybody here would say, oh, Ron went to the dark side. And could I start cashing in? I think anybody can. I would never do that. That's just not.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do stage illusions. So, you know, sometimes people say, oh, you're just jealous of them. Like, if I wanted to fake things, I used to do stage illusions. I could make fake UFOs and fake alien videos. I don't think that has any value. It doesn't add anything to the conversation. It doesn't help me in my personal quest for the truth and my own experience. So, you know, but every once in a while I go, I do see the huge number of views, and I don't know. I just shake my head. I think, you know,
no,
it is what it is.
I just never been a liar, or I just don't like. That's all there is to it. I mean, of course, we've all told fibs not to get in trouble with parents or stuff like that. But I mean, like in life,
you lied to me. Anybody? You lied to me. You don't remember? You lied your ass off to me. You told me that the 3D printers were much more good now, and I would not aggravate myself with it. No, Steven, they'll just work. They just work. No, didn't work. By the way, that's what you'll do here to put you to work. I'm going to chain Ron up in the next room, the sunroom, with the 3D printer, and he ain't allowed to come out of that until he gets it to do the 18-inch prints right.
So I'll be chained up 5 minutes then. Watch. And I'll go in, do it, and walk out.
I'm going to feel like a super dummy if you do get it to work.
We're going to stream that. We're going to stream that when I get there with the.
All right, I got a laptop. Webcams in there. We'll be fine.
How many times has Steven started his show, and then when he talks about it, he says, yeah, that cosmic, I'm going to punch him right in the face. How many times has he said that? Because
punch you in the face. See? No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give him an ample opportunity to make it work right. And then if he does get it working right, I'm never going to touch it again except to change the filament reel.
No, you have to, though. You have to, because the bed will not stay leveled indefinitely.
Okay. It always right. Well, then you can show me how to level it right. But I'm going to give you an ample opportunity to get it to work right. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to punch you in the face.
Okay. You know what? This is what we'll do. If we stream that,
we're going to live stream it. We're going to
live stream it and say he could do that. He could punch me right in the face.
Punch Ron in the face. We're going to title it that way. Yes.
And I could promise you, no, I will not swing back or do anything. I'll take it like a man. That's it.
Well, this is definitely off of our normal topic, so I want to thank you for coming here. And I have a bunch of other stuff to do, so we're going to wrap things up here, friends. This is kind of a bonus show for the week, not a normal thing to do shows on Saturday for us ever here. But I had the time, and I thought we would do this. I appreciate that. Yeah, it seems like you and me agree on most of this NASA and space conspiracy stuff.
Yeah. But Stephen, what I would say before you do close up, seriously, all joking aside, thank you so much for doing this, and not only helping my channel, you help a lot of people out. I truly thank you, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
it's my pleasure. It's like I said, I want to pay it forward. Somebody help me, so I'm helping as many people as I can, and I'm a big believer in karma. So if I help others, somebody will be there to help me when I need it. I truly believe that.
Yeah, well, I'll be helping you out. Don't worry about that. It may not be with viewers, but I'll give you a hand once I get out there, whatever you need help with.
Look, we can get free virtual girls chat, Ron.
What are
The
you talking
porn
about?
bots
Oh,
have
no.
arrived. The porn bots are here. We got to do
Come on,
something.
mods. Go get.
Mods,
Oh, they got him.
Get them.
They got
him.
Spooky
Yes.
got it.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw you out of here. I'm looking forward to punching you in the face. I mean, you fixing my printer. One of those two. And seeing you here at the cabin in person. For those that aren't aware, Ron and Anthony from Unidentified S4 are going to come here, and we're going to have a hell of a streaming weekend and a sky watch, and we're going to do it all live. And you might get to see me punch Ron in the face. So if you don't like Ron, you should tune into that, right?
Wait, before you throw me out, but if I do fix that in 5 minutes, what do I get to do?
I don't
want
punch
to punch
you in the
you.
face.
I don't.
I won't punch you in the face.
That's like
That's what
heads
you
I
get.
win, tails you lose. Okay,
Yes,
I gotcha.
no. Yeah, look, I'm going to feed you and everything while you're here. We're going to have some great food, and there's a great restaurant near us. Maybe we'll go up there and get some steaks or, all that kind of stuff. We'll have a good time.
You got it, brother. Thanks again for having me. Thank you for helping me and everybody. Love you. Thank you so much. You're the best.
All right. Thanks, Ron. So there we go. NASA conspiracies and space conspiracies. I'm no expert, but it seems that Ron and I both kind of agree on there not being much to some of this stuff, but there is something to the photographs perhaps being manipulated heavily before released. Yeah, kind of tend to agree with you. I heard he's insulted. I heard that he is going after my wife now. And, I don't know what else I could say about that guy. He's running around telling people that people who have cancer are faking it. The guy who he's saying is faking his cancer put all of his paperwork on Twitter a few days ago. He really does have cancer. So maybe you should leave a guy with cancer alone and not cause him any more stress or anxiety by telling people that he's faking his cancer. By the way, the dummy's telling everybody that the guy is faking his cancer for donations. He doesn't get donations. His channel, his YouTube channel, is not even monetized. But I guess, some audiences just love for their host to be a liar and to lie to them. I guess. I don't understand it. I guess I'm a little more selective in who I watch or choose to spend my time consuming their content. And if a show host verifiably lies to me one time, to be honest with you, that's one time too much for me, and I would never watch them or support them again. But just seems to be no bottom. You can call people pedos. You can make fun of people's wives. You can make fun of, bring their children into disagreements. You can say people are faking cancer, even though they're not. By the way, why doesn't he bust that UFO proofs balls? Because we can verify that guy faked cancer. Oh, no. You work with him at Third Phase of Moon. So you can't say anything negative about that guy who absolutely verifiably faked cancer. But you're going to go after a guy who really does have cancer and say he faked it. Do you see the projection here? It's ridiculous. But I don't want to waste my airtime on that guy. We are full steam moving ahead with our plans here. And we have just, acquired a worldwide headquarters, a beautiful forested headquarters for us. And I will be designing the building and getting started on building the building. And I can't tell you how much I can't wait to get that place going, and especially to get it done and just finally have a really good place, quiet and private and secluded and serene. I'm going to do the best work I've ever done in my entire life creatively there. I could just feel it there. While I was there, I sat on a big boulder, and I just had this tremendous feeling of the potential of that place and what can be accomplished there. And like I said, I am going to put some videos on Patreon and for members tonight, late tonight or tomorrow. And for those that asked, yes, I did it again. The audio podcast is way behind. In fact, I'm thinking of scrapping it, but I don't want to do that because so many of you, including you guys who drive for a living, have told me, please don't axe the audio podcast, because apparently if you drive for a living and you get in an accident or something and they check your logs and find out you were watching a show, you can get in trouble. But if they find out you were listening to an audio podcast, you're not in any trouble. And there's other reasons that people like the audio podcast. Some people listen while they work or whatever. We're going to try to keep it going, but I have to get much better at keeping it up to date. Before I forget, I'm going to check in with our PayPal. And that's a good time to remind you that I have a forest that my company just purchased, but we still have to pay for it. So if you want to support us and our future endeavors, the best way to do that is to throw money at us. And there's a few ways to do that. You can send a super chat, that money button. You can send a PayPal. There's Sweet Caroline with a kind and generous $10 PayPal who says, congrats on the new headquarters. Or let me make sure that I'm getting the whole message because I can only see a portion of it here. Oh, good thing I did that. Thank you, Sweet Caroline. And it says, congrats on the new headquarters. You deserve all the success and love. You're only going one way, and that's up. Love you, Steve and Sweet Caroline. And thank you for your kindness, generosity, and continued support. By the way, I'm not sure how to say this, but here's what I will say. Any money that this show generates from now until early spring, let's say April 1st. So from now until April 1st, every single dollar that this show generates, every single bit of support you send, whether it's becoming a member, that's another way to support us. You can become a Patreon supporter for $1 a month. Every dollar coming here from now until at least April, maybe indefinitely, because I don't know, but every dollar of support that comes to my show between now and April 1st, let's say, because we were not going to be able to begin. It's almost winter here. In fact, it will be It will be snowing soon. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. It will be snowing here soon. And snow accumulates here. It doesn't go away. So in other words, if you're from a more moderate climate that has winter, you'll be familiar with, you get a few inches of snow in a week or a few days, it melts off and everything's clear again. That's not how winters here work. It accumulates. So in other words, once it snows, it stays. And then it snows again, and it snows again. And before you know it, you could have 3 feet of snow on the ground. We will not be able to begin our construction projects at the new headquarters probably until the first week of April. But what I'm going to be doing is I will be beginning some things like framing windows, building doors and door frames for the structure. Anything that I can do, I might build like kitchen cabinets for the break room. Anything that I can do over the winter to kind of supercharge us getting off the ground running once we are able to start the actual build project, I'll be doing. And every dollar of the show income here is going to go to the new headquarters for the foreseeable future. And unlike a lot of people who, I don't know why, I mean, I agree with most of you who say it doesn't matter what people spend the money on. If people send it in, it's their money, it's their show. But I'm real big on the fact that we use the funds to further our endeavors here. So, you know, I can have a spreadsheet and show everybody every dollar that comes in goes back into the show or to advancing our capabilities here. This new headquarters of ours will be completely state of the art. It will be, listen, it might look rustic, but on the inside, I mean, it will be completely state of the art. A lot of new equipment we'll be getting. A lot of equipment I already have. I have things stacked up in my garage from my old studio. Lots of synthesizers and audio equipment and, microphones and preamps and compressors and effects pedals and effects boxes. I still have a great deal of equipment from my old studio. The best of the things that I didn't sell or part with to lighten my move. But everything that we collect here will be going to further that endeavor. But I will say that the building itself will be built incredibly inexpensively. And I will most likely detail whatever it costs to build that. It's going to cost mostly labor. We will be building an entire building out of as much natural materials found on the land that we have purchased as possible. What does that mean? That means the structure will be built from stones found all over the property. There's stones everywhere. We live in the property is in the mountains, the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. So the property will be built from stone, natural stone. Probably the floors will be natural stone. The walls will be made from trees in one form or another. I'm not sure what form that will take. It probably the buildings are probably not going to look like the traditional log cabin home, because that's a new growth forest. And what does that mean? That means that the area, the entire area that land is in, was clear cut, unfortunately, 80 or 90 years ago. So there are no huge 40-foot long, 3-foot wide trees to build a really huge traditional log cabin structure out of. But there's plenty of trees there. We're just going to have to become creative in our design in order. I feel very strongly about building that. I don't want to upset the natural beauty of that whole environment. So we're going to build a building out of the studio. The whole thing is going to be built out of as much natural materials as possible. We might use cordwood masonry like I did here at the cabin, which is essentially like building brick walls, but instead of bricks, you're using pieces of logs between the mortar. But I think that I have some designs in mind, and we'll have something called live edge siding, which is where they take a log and put it on its side and you slice the log down, almost like making plywood out of it, but it makes these panels and then those get nailed up as siding. That's very beautiful. It's very economical. I still have a lot of the details to work out. And honestly, just as in this cabin structure, the available materials are going to determine how and why we build the structure the way that we do. I'm going to lean on my friend Matt here at the cabin. He's my neighbor and best friend. He's a great guy, and he works in construction. And everything at this cabin, when I got stuck and I didn't know what to do, I asked him, and he is in construction. He could guide me. So I'm going to be asking him to help me design the structure once we're a little more sure of what available materials and resources we will have. I looked around on the property, and there's plenty of standing dead trees. For those unaware, sometimes a tree will die, but it'll still be standing. No leaves on it, even in the summertime. It's a standing dead tree. Those are my preference. I don't really want to cut any live trees down if I can avoid it. So we go through this forested area. We mark and identify all of the standing dead trees, and we take them down. And then those trees can either be milled into lumber or used as a log beam or something. There's a lot of ways that we can go about this. And like I said, this is going to be quite challenging, but I'm up for it. But I guess the point is that the building itself, it's not going to cost much, but I do have to pay for this land. And boy, after the pandemic, land is not cheap. A lot of people are looking to build homes in an escape area like that. That is, I'm so far calling that place the Hideaway, because it is just. Here I'm going to try to show you something which is funny. So when I went to look at this land, the road ended, and I went, well, wait a minute. The road ends, but Google Maps says the road keeps going, and what is that about, right? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. And but I figured out what happened. And what had happened was that no one had been up that road in so many years. I'm going to share this. This is funny. Nobody had been up that road in so many years that the nearest neighbor, who's a mile and a half from the land. Oh, 1 second. My camera popped out again. Let me fix that, friends. Just bear with me one moment. We definitely got to get a better setup here. Oh, 1 second. Let me see if I can fix this. Just bear with me, friends. Lots of technical problems today. That's weird. Normally we don't have many here. There we go. So when I went to look, oh, it did it again. Oh, it doesn't really matter. 1 second. Let's try this again. Let me try to see if I can fix this. It's very flaky, this laptop, for some reason. There we go. So when I went to look at this land, for some reason, I'm going to show you what I saw. And this is funny. So I go to look at this land, and this is where the road ends. And this is a mile and a half down this dirt road, old logging trail from where the land actually is. But it turns out that the neighbor just sort of claimed the road as part of his yard because nobody had used that road in 10 years, and he parked his truck there. And for those unaware, people here often keep a spare truck with a plow around to plow the back roads so that they can access their property in the winter. The township doesn't do that in many areas. So it's a mile and a half hike from the end of the road here to where the land is. And I almost walked away from this land. I almost just walked. I'm like, I'm not going to, like I can't even get through the road to get to this place. But something told me that what I should do is just hike it in and see the land, and then I'll deal with this problem later. And by the way, we have since dealt with that problem and it is resolved. The road will be clear and cleared, and we'll be able to proceed. But I just thought it was funny that I almost didn't find this place because an obstacle almost stopped me from finding literally the perfect place to put my company headquarters and studio. But luckily, I decided to hike. I'm like, I'm going to get my backpack. I'll hike through and I'll find the land and we'll deal with this later. And I did. And the land is beautiful. No neighbors. The nearest neighbor is a mile and a half. Otherwise, it's all woods. Absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to get started there. So, did I miss one? Let me see here. Oh, Long Island Bigfoot with a super sticker for $1.99. Thank you very much for your kindness, generosity, and support. Put that on the screen. And Long Island Bigfoot, email me at truthseekershow@gmail.com because you know I love Bigfoot, and we do a very, very occasional show on Bigfoot, but we haven't in a very, very long time. I'd like to have you as a guest. Bring your best evidence and let's talk Bigfoot, right? So, yeah, I almost missed out on this place because of an obstacle. And that taught me a lesson, which is don't let obstacles stop you from your dreams. Like, this place is an absolute dream. And I almost missed it because there was an obstacle in my path. No, I will not be stopped by a little obstacle in my path. And interestingly, we found out later that there is a back road to the property that is very, very clear and easy to access. So I'll probably be using the road behind the property for a while until we get the other road. Chuck says, how is the fishing in the area? Absolutely wonderful. There's a bunch of fishing ponds right near that land in the state land around behind it. And you ever see those, those like little trout that are in these little ponds in the middle of the woods? They're really tasty. Tons of those in these ponds around that land. There is also Tobyhanna Lake. You can look that up in the Pocono Mountains, and Goldsboro Lake, right within a long hike or a short ride away. There is two beautiful lakes, which is good fishing. They have a lot of big mouth bass in the one lake, and the other lake has got a lot of trout and I can't remember the other, trout and bass, but not big mouth bass, the smaller mouth bass. I get a fishing license here every year, and every year I'm not satisfied until I get at least, double whatever the fishing license costs, $20. I'm never happy, Chuck, until I get $40 worth of fish. I feel like they're going to charge me for this fishing license. I'm going to eat $40 worth of fish if it costs $20 for the license. I feel like I win when I do that. And plus, fishing is enjoyable most of the time, right? Rocky or Bobby Dogstone is here and says, what's up, Stephen? I love the debunking work you do. I believe in your dreams. Yeah, thank you. So any more comments or questions from me, please put them in all capital letters. My flock is everywhere with another $1.99 super sticker. Thank you. MVP of Super Chatter today. Ron from Cosmic Neighbors is here in our live chat. And I want to thank each and every one of you that went over there and subscribed to Ron. For those that are unaware, getting to that 1,000 subscribers is really difficult. It's a grind, and you think you're never going to get there, but then you get close. And so I'm happy for him. He'll be able to praise the cash, right? My Flock says, great show. Oh, bluegill. Yeah. How much is $40 worth? I don't know. I just estimate if you go to the store and buy a good size fish, it's $5 at least, right? So I just kind of go, I got to catch, at least 8 fish and eat them every season, right? And this year I didn't. I got busy and I didn't hit the mark, right? Am I collecting skillets? No, this is not really. When I see one, I get it. And we have a lot of cast iron here at the cabin. These are all cast iron pans hanging, but we have cast iron pizza pans, and we have cast iron Dutch ovens that I use a lot for cooking. Cast iron is the way to go. I love cast iron. They last forever. Those cast iron pans, my kids will have those. My grandkids could have those. All you have to do is season them and take care of them, and they're easy and quick to clean. No soap, you know. Amy WC with a kind and generous $5 says, enjoyed. Thanks. Thank you for kindness, generosity, and support. Much, much appreciated, especially now, Amy, because I got to pay for a whole forest somehow. What did I get myself into? No, I'm happy. I can't tell you all how happy I am about that. And by the way, I want to thank my wife who, she believes in me, and she knows that I'm going to work really hard to make this dream happen. But I wouldn't have been able to do that without her help with the financial part of it. Forests aren't cheap, Yeah, I don't know about that. Spooky's going to be editing construction footage. I think I'm going to get so busy that I'm going to have Spooky edit the footage. I'm going to be too busy. So what I'm going to do is me and Spooky still have to work this out too, because I think we're going to set up like 3 or 4 tripods with cameras around whatever I'm working on, the work site, and I'll just let them go. But then there's a whole lot of stuff to go with this that are problematic. There's no power there. There's no power lines there, so we have to have solar or a gas powered generator. But yeah, Spooky's going to help. We are going to videotape the entire construction of this monster studio. And I think that would be good because it'll show our hard work and dedication to building our headquarters. We're going to build it ourselves, and it will also help those who are interested in building things with natural materials learn how to do it, because we're going to show you how to. You too can build corporate headquarters out of trees and trash. I'm excited to get started. So yeah, I'm probably just going to set up tripods and try to get as good as footage as possible. Spooky will be bitching at me about the lighting or the footage or the angle, or I don't know. But right now, Spooky, I have 6 of those Kodak Xi8 HD cameras, which are pretty good. I mean, they're prosumer grade. I think it'll be good. Do Anthony and I need to wear hunting colors so we don't get shot during hunting season? Yeah, that might be a good idea. If you guys are coming up here, I'll get some though. I have vests. You just wear a vest. I have vests, so don't worry about it. If we're in my community here where my cabin is, there's no hunting allowed. Nobody's allowed to hunt. And we have deers running around and everything, and bears, and but it's sort of like a nature preserve here, so you're not allowed to hunt. So if we're staying here, you don't need to worry about that. But if we go to the other land, it's private property. I doubt we'll have any hunters or we'll have to worry about it. But just in case you are out in the middle of the woods in the middle of hunting season, I would wear the vest. I have vests for us. So that should be sufficient, right? Can you make a tree house and aerial walkway? Yes, and that is very appealing to me. I like tree houses. Complizaire is here with kind and generous $5. Says 5 spooky bucks. Yeah. Spooky and I have to work out. Like, I can't afford to pay Spooky now, so I don't know how I'm going to pay Spooky for all this editing work. But something's got to give. Like, I can't do this show, go over there and build a corporate headquarters, film building the corporate headquarters, and build how to build the. So we're gonna have to enlist some help to get things done. Unidentified S4 is saying he shoots back. Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about it, but I did when I did that 8-mile round trip hike. It's 4 miles there and back. Well, it could be 2.5 miles, but I walked around in circles, so I think it was 8 miles. And especially because I didn't walk the woods way back. I walked the road way back because I didn't want to get lost in the woods again. I kind of got lost in the woods trying to find that place, walking through these state game lands, and the GPS was off. And so, but yeah, I think that, yeah, I don't think you have to worry about shooting back. Yeah, so long hike there. Yes, it is. It's in northern Pennsylvania, the Pocono Mountains. Just look up the Pocono Mountains, and it's a beautiful place. It's 4 miles from my cabin here. And that was important to me too, because I did look at some land in other places that was not near either my home or my cabin here. But what that would mean is that when I'm there trying to build the place, I would have to live in a tent. And I didn't really want to do that. I did it before. I don't want to really do it again. And so I really thought I wanted to find a place near my home. But unfortunately, we live in what I would call an affluent area where my home is, you know, where those rich people live. And I still feel out of place there because those everybody that in my area where my home is has too much money and too little sense, and nobody does anything themselves. Everybody hires people to do everything, and I'm a do it myself kind of guy, and I feel kind of out of place there. You know, it's like I went to an alternate universe where I'm living in some rich guy's house instead of him or something. It doesn't feel, I mean, I like it there, but anyway, I tried to find a place near my home, but unfortunately, because it's such an affluent area and there's golf courses and country clubs everywhere, you can't buy cheap land to build anything there. Everything I looked at was crazy, crazy expensive, you know. I think I looked at one that was $80,000 and it was a quarter of an acre, which is just tiny for 80,000. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to look at the cabin. And then I started focusing our search here at the cabin or around the cabin. I looked at a whole lot of properties that were terrible. But a lot of, for people unaware, when you look at things, rural land here up in the mountains, like one place I went to, and when I went there, there was an old double wide like mobile home, not like a trailer, like a camping trailer, but like a double wide mobile home. It was huge. And the seller said, well, we haven't been there in 8 or 9 years and it's probably a mess in there or, you know, whatever. And so I had permission to go inside the trailer. I walked in and all I saw was black mold. The roof collapsed and there was black mold like on the walls, the floor, the ceiling. I didn't even go inside. And they wanted quite a lot of money for that place. And first you would have had to burn that thing down or, you know, pay a hazmat team to go in there. That was terrible. And then I looked at another place that had a neighbor too close, and they had 3 dogs that barked at me the whole time I was looking at the land. So I said, nope, not going to, this isn't the place. And it goes on and on and on. I mean, I looked at I went physically to 20 or more places. One place we almost bought, and it's unfortunate because that place was the land where it was situated was like a literal 3 or 4 minute walk to this huge lake. It wasn't lakefront, but you could walk to the lake in 3 minutes. It was like right down the road a little ways, like 1 city block or 2 city blocks was this huge lake. And they also gave you a boat slip so you could have a kayak for the lake. But they made me go before a planning, sort of like the Kangaroo Court of Karens, like a planning commission they have. And they were very, you know, they were kind enough to let me tell them what my plans for the land were. And then they told me, no, you can't do that here, which I guess I'm happy because I could have bought the land. And then they told me I couldn't build this there or, you know, but I have a real problem with a bunch of people telling people what they can or cannot do on land they purchased, you know, So this place is not in an HOA or a community. There's no restrictions. There's no building restrictions. I've already gotten everything approved. I have to do a little bit of paperwork, but everything is approved with the local township. Um, Everything's good to go where we did end up purchasing. But the lake property was really nice because it was kind of like that land I showed you, but there was a lake, a beautiful lake right near the land. Not lakefront, but of course it was a lot more expensive as well. But we dodged a bullet because I almost just bought it because I was thinking they can't stop me. If I purchase this land, I can do whatever I want. But they have some kind of planning commission and an HOA there that. And then I found out later that like you even have to get the lights that you put on your house approved, and you can't have colored bulbs and all all of these crazy restrictions they had there on everything. The kind of place that like tells you what color you're allowed to paint your house, and you can't paint it certain colors, or just like I said, I call those HOAs and those people in these local community boards. It's like a kangaroo court of Karens, and they're going to tell you what you can or cannot do on the land that you own. And I said, nope, not going to do it. So we found this beautiful forested land. It's not in any kind of a community. I can do literally anything I want there, and I will. And it's my land, and I'm paying for it. So I think that I should be able to do anything there within reason. I'm not going to do anything hazardous to the environment or anything that will bother my neighbors. The neighbors are so far away that nothing, literally, like almost nothing I could do there could bother them because they're 1.5 miles away. So, I can run a gas powered generator all day and night. They won't even hear it at their home, most likely. Blast music, whatever we want to do there. Dance naked in the woods around a fire. I might do that. Yeah, I don't know. So any more comments or questions from me, please put them in all capital letters. Building, come to Florida. It's out of control. Yeah, I heard that. I had a friend that tried to build someplace. He tried to build someplace in I don't know, some rural part of Florida, and the township gave him they kept fining him and all kinds of stuff. And he literally gave up. He sold the property and moved to Georgia to do what he wanted to do. Unidentified S4 is here with a kind and generous $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. I'll take that $10 and put it towards the food I have to feed you guys. I'm going to have to go shopping before these guys get here. We're not very well stocked at the cabin for once. Sheila, aliens, you're not scared of bears. Well, yes and no. Sheila, you are not aware of this, but I once had a close encounter with a bear, and I mean real close. I was here at the cabin, and we just had finished eating, and my wife left some food. The kids finished eating, we finished eating, and you know how you have a little bit of food left on your plate, usually? And so there was some food on the picnic table out here, and I told my wife, when I saw that, I said, we have to take this food in. You can't leave food outside like that. And my wife said, oh, yeah, I'm going to get it in a minute or something. And I go, okay. And the next thing we know, a big, huge mama bear came and literally sat at the picnic table cleaning off those plates. And then what I didn't see, though, is that she had 3 cubs with her also. So I see the 3 cubs, but I only see 2 of them, actually. And then they seemed very calm and serene. They weren't, they didn't seem to be even noticing me. So I got way too close and started taking all kinds of pictures like a dummy. And what I didn't realize is that I got between the mother and one of the cubs, and the mother got up on its hind legs and growled the scariest growl I've ever heard in my life and started running at me. I booked to the cabin and jumped into the cabin, but I figured later that as soon as the mother got to the cub, because it was like I was, the cub was here, I was here, and the mama was here. As soon as the mama got to the cub, she stopped running at me. but that was a very, very scary situation. And that taught me that I have to be more careful with the bears. They could certainly kill you. We only have black bears here, though. We don't have big grizzly bears, but they're still, 400 pounds, and those claws and teeth, they could kill you. So do I worry about them? Not really. In my experience so far, I saw a bear last week while I hiked to this land, from this cabin to that land in the woods. And I was right in the middle of the woods, nobody around, and I just see a huge, I think it was a buck, a male black bear. I just got down on my hands and knees. He didn't notice me. And I let him pass, and I waited a good 10 minutes for him to keep walking the other way, and then I walked the total other way. Do I worry about him? No, but I think that you have to be, I don't worry, but you have to be cautious, and you have to be very aware. You have to be very, very aware that they can kill you. There's two animals in the forests near me, Sheila, that I fear. And that is, I fear the bears, and I fear mountain lions, both of which can kill you. But there are also, and I also fear the coyotes, because the coyotes, if they get hungry enough, a whole pack of them will attack a person and kill them. So, but I am as cautious as possible, and we have, precautions in place. As far as the bears, generally, they just sort of walk through your yard, and you don't go near them, they won't go near you. But I do know for a fact you never, ever are supposed to come between a mama bear and her cubs. She'll kill you. So I learned a valuable lesson, and I'm not picture crazy. When I see a bear now, I don't go near it. I tell a photo in as far as I can, and then I take the picture if I want to, but I don't go near it, right? Cosmic Neighbors is giving me $10 now. Thank you so much, Stephen. You are a good egg. Well, I'm glad that we could help you get to the magic numbers. And Sheila, I will message you as soon as the broadcast is over. I would like to speak to you, and it is 9:42 p.m. You asked me before what time zone I'm on. I'm on East Coast time here. I would be happy to speak to you after the broadcast. And I think that you should come on the show, because we could have a fun time comparing notes on a certain couple of fraudsters, right? Mystery Eon says, never come between any woman and her brood, human, cat, or bear. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I've learned now to be cautious, and well, there's a couple other animals, Sheila, in the woods. We have bobcats here too. I wouldn't mess with a bobcat here in the woods. But mostly we have deer and raccoons and things that aren't. My wife gets mad at me because I feed the raccoons here. And did you ever see that raccoon guy that feeds them the hot dogs? He's got a whole YouTube channel getting millions of views. I said, that's me in 5 years. I leave Cool Ranch Doritos, little bags, like the snack bags. I steal them from my kids when I come here. There's something about Cool Ranch Doritos. I think the raccoons can smell it. You know how Cool Ranch Doritos, they're really got a powerful smell, right? I guess they could smell it from far away. I don't know. But if you open a bag of Doritos outside and you leave it, the raccoons come and get it. And they're fun to watch because they got little hands and they pick up the Doritos and sit there and eat them. I love raccoons. But my wife gets mad at me because she's afraid they're getting too friendly. And, I don't think they're any danger. And if they are, you could kick that thing, like it's not going to really. The rabid ones, that's what she's worried about. Oh, they could have rabies and, Yes, the raccoon guy. Yeah, he's cool. Patty says Sheila can't wait for that fire to start. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to bounce on out of here. I didn't mean to go this long. But don't get me started on this land deal. It is just such a beautiful place. I spent some time there. The previous owners, were very, very kind to me. because it was taking an inordinate amount of time to get the title search done to ensure that there was no problems, liens on the land, or whatever judgments against the land. And so I reached out to the realtor and I said, like, this is taking way too long. How do the owners feel? Can I have permission to go walk that land and spend a little time there before we do settlement? And they said, you could spend every day there. You can go camping there tonight and stay there until settlement. We don't care. Great guys. So, and by the way, that land that I purchased was in their family for 55 years. So they have owned that land for 55 years. It was their father's land, and they were very interested in what I was going to do there. And I think they enjoyed seeing how excited I was about the land and how much I really loved it there. So I've spent a good deal of time there. I built a fire ring and had a lunch there. I cooked lunch there one day. I spent a few hours there contemplating my future. And tomorrow I will go there. And tomorrow will be the first time I will have been there since I've signed the papers, and it is my land. So I want to go tomorrow and spend an hour or two there. I'm going to mark the edges of the property, and I'm going to start working on this driveway in from the back road. I can't wait. I can't wait to go there. I was going to get there today, but I got tied up with firewood processing. By the way, I'm almost done. And then we're ready for winter. I got maybe 2 more days of processing firewood. And of course, Murphy's Law, the firewood splitter, the machine died. It's not splitting any firewood. So today I had a rough day doing it by hand. But I need the exercise. Who needs a gym? Just split firewood for 4 hours. You'll be buff. So I guess that's all we got for you. We will be back Monday at 9 p.m. our usual time. I will be covering another medbed scam. That's right. More people scamming people about fake medbeds. And we've got all the goods on them. So Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be returning. In the meantime, I'm going to be making some videos for Patreon and our kind and generous members here. But, that's going to be like an early access thing. So if you're a Patreon supporter or a member, you're going to get a couple of videos tomorrow and the next day. If you're not, they're going to be made public early next week. Yeah. And before I go, I do want to remind you all that if you're listening in audio podcast land, we love and appreciate you, but you're missing half the fun. So go on over to YouTube and hit that little magnifying glass, the search tool, and put in Truthseekers, one word. And if you do that, remember, Truthseekers, one word, you'll see me, the strange guy with the sunglasses. Go to that channel, smash the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and you too will know when we're doing a live taping for the podcast, and you could come here and be a part of it. You see, we have all this great interactivity with our audiences, our live audiences. You can ask questions to me and the guests. We take comments, answer any questions that you have on every topic. Some people really love to come here and ask questions of some of these expert guests that we have. And you too are most welcome. So go on over to YouTube, Truthseekers in the search bar. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell and come here and be a part of our live tapings. Also, if you're not already, I would encourage you to smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you too will know when we're doing another live show. Also, if I could be so bold as to ask your help, it's not always about just throwing money at us here, though we do take all the money thrown at us. Another way that you can help us, which is equally as helpful, really, really does help, is to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. It really does help. Put them on your Twitter, put them on your Facebook, wherever you can share the link to this video. It really does help because it creates all these links, and then somehow it raises us in the search engines. And then the AI algorithm that runs that is determining my future finds favor in us. And that reminds me, every day I do a prayer to the AI algorithm gods. Our Google, who art in the cloud, the AI algorithm, who we worship and want to please. Please find favor in us when our friends like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. See those extra links spread out across the webverse and find favor in us and rise us in the search engines so that more people can find us, more people can share our videos and help support us. In Google's name we pray, amen. Every day I have to pray to an AI algorithm because my future is partially in that AI algorithm's hands. But you can help push the algorithm to push us, and we would appreciate your support in getting the show out. So, yeah, I am going to bounce on out of here. Believe it or not, I have not had any dinner yet today, and it's cold in here because I didn't have a fire. The fire went out, so I'm gonna get the fire going and cook some dinner on the wood cook stove here, and get some videos done later tonight for you Patreon supporters and you channel members. And we will be back Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's all I got for you for tonight, live from the Apocalypse Cabin. I'm Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.